Adventures of Sonic Episode 50, Robotnik's Pyramid Scheme. Robotnik runs from the lion in the Colosseum, but because bullshit, the mere roar of the lion magically sends Robotnik and his robots out of the medieval trap thing. I guess the lion had wind magic. And after they briefly see Robotnik's ancestor, who has cyborg eyes even back then, they go to the time travel machine to go after the immortality Chaos Emerald. Seriously, how did they survive that? It would have made more sense if Robotnik's ancestor ordered them to be spared because he liked Robotnik for his cyborg eyes. He should have logically survived this. Back at the beach, Professor K9 tells Sonic that his family tree is being erased. How did he not already vanish then, if all of his ancestors have already been erased, or almost all of them? That's very dumb. That's actually more dumb than Robotnik never being written to carry out this plan. So Sonic goes on a time machine scooter that's preset to send him to the proper time-space coordinates. It is actually kinda nice to see that it's a different time machine he uses every time. It's like variety. I don't see why he couldn't just use the same one every episode though. We see Arabia with music I like right away, and the villains show up there to look out for a very special relative of Sonic's, the fastest bricklayer ever. Robotnik plans to prevent him from meeting a girl named Penelope, not the duck, but this one, and eventually cause Sonic to be born. But what difference does it make that they focus on this Sonic ancestor and not the other ones? The other ones should have erased Sonic too. I actually giggled at Scratch dressed up like a woman trying to talk in falsetto and get the ancestor's attention. That's the third time I laughed at this show. It's just so ridiculous for Scratch to do. He gets kidnapped, but Sonic saves him, sending Grounder flying into a camel to be kicked apart. Why isn't anyone in the past freaking out from clearly seeing robots? That's dumb. Maybe robots already exist in this time period, I mean, we don't know. Sonic flies around on his time travel scooter, which eventually leads to Robotnik being on a magic carpet sending him into a tower, and a piece of it falls on him, but that somehow doesn't kill him. However, Sonic's a complete idiot because he gets his ancestor to storm off when he flirts with Penelope. That's complete bullshit because 1, Sonic would know better than to do that. He's not like Zaddy M Sonic, who's a complete idiot. And 2, his ancestor would get jealous and fight with him, not storm off, which I thought was going to be the whole point of why Sonic would do that. Tails gets to be useful by making sure Sonic exists again. Robotnik interrogates someone about where the emerald is, and again, for some reason he goes for tickle torture. He could have shown him a really bad movie, he could at least vary up the torture. Scratch gives up too quickly, and Robotnik says he'll make himself pharaoh and force everyone to make pyramids until someone tells him what he wants to know. I like that line of his.
I'll make myself pharaoh and force all of my subjects to build pyramids until someone tells me what I want to know.
Sonic and Tails show up, and Robotnik sends his guards out of nowhere to shackle the heroes and enslave them. Why didn't Sonic just jump into Robotnik and attack him long before this happened? These heroes look like idiots. They're forced to help build a pyramid, and Sonic sees that his ancestor is with him. But since Sonic still exists, it has to be that his ancestor is destined to have a kid leading to his existence with Penelope anyways. I love Grounder's line where he thought the ancient Egyptians didn't know how to write and just drew pictures.
These ancient guys don't know how to write. They just draw little pictures.
Give me that.
It makes sense for him to think that. After our time is wasted, I'm supposed to believe that Scratch and Grounder can read hieroglyphics when Grounder was just saying that the Egyptians can't write. That was overly easy. Robotnik says that his ancestor has the emerald, and Tails sees Penelope, who warns everyone about what Robotnik's doing. Sonic makes a picture of himself, and he says that when his friend Professor K9 learns about this hieroglyphic in the future, he'll send him back a saw to get rid of his handcuffs. But wouldn't the hypothetical future K9 in that case be living in a world where Robotnik succeeded in the past because Sonic was enslaved? Would he have even been born then, such a radically different future? He then brings everyone with him on a wagon, using himself in place of a horse. Sonic then uses his spin dash to send the villains sliding in the sand, with Grounder pulling them into a pyramid wall. Sonic's ancestor says that his grandpa built the pyramid that's already standing, and therefore he knows another way in. He also stops Sonic from going into a trap. Apparently there's lava in the pyramid. Shouldn't the lava have melted the sand from convection? Like, he pushes a piece of the wall into the lava river to float along it. Robotnik insists to his robots that there's nothing to worry about because only they are getting hit by traps and not needing repairs somehow. Maybe they have automatic self-repair systems built in, like Gamma, but that's never explained. Scratch somehow reads a hieroglyphic telling them what to do to survive the next trap. When Grounder didn't know what hieroglyphics were, and Robotnik throws them into the ring-filled spike trap, saying he'll wring their necks otherwise. That's an impressively dark line for this cartoon. They find the burial chamber of Robotnik's old ancestor. Shouldn't he be a skeleton by now? Somehow he wakes up alive despite being a mummy in a tomb. I guess this will never be explained. Even if he was alive all along, why didn't he escape his tomb a while ago and keep being evil? Why would he just be content to lie in a tomb? He wouldn't just stay where he was. It's not like a curse is forcing him to stay in a room, is it? Sonic says that the mummy should have been cut to ribbons. Wait, he was intentionally trying to cut a human being to pieces? Why didn't he do that to Robotnik? Robotnik explains that the ancestor is immortal, and then they see a similarly immortal ancestor of Sonic who humiliates the mummy Robotnik. I guess he was trapped in a tomb immortal out of spite. With the mummy Robotnik says that he doesn't want to be chased by a crazy hedgehog forever and turns to dust. Robotnik is now invincible. So aren't the invincibility and immortality emeralds almost redundant then? Sonic is made invincible too, takes the emerald, and locks Robotnik in the tomb. How do you escape this? Why would the mummy's Sonic willingly go back into his tomb? Wouldn't he have gone insane by this point from boredom and solitary confinement in the tomb? Did he even need to be in this plot? He didn't make any sense. The story ends with the villains not being in the tomb, but instead in a plane tied up like mummies in their time machine. If Sonic was smart, he would have kept them all in the tomb. Penelope gets married ridiculously quickly, and Sonic shows his arrogance by defiling a pharaoh statue to look like him and Tails. At least Tails got some of the glory. And the Sonic Says message lectures Tails about the smart way to skateboard. Wait, what did that have to do with the episode? The scooter wasn't a skateboard, was it? This episode was about Robotnik going back in time to try to erase Sonic from existence by making his ancestor not meet Penelope. It was stupid that Sonic didn't disappear before he got a chance to stop it though. That didn't make much sense. Nor did the mummy Sonic still being alive and yet not insane at all by this point. And the mummy Robotnik just sleeping all quietly and peacefully instead of causing trouble forever since he was immortal. He's got the Mammoth Mogul problem. There's no way he wouldn't still be causing trouble in the present day and have taken Robotnik's place and kept him from rising to power. Also, with the immortality Chaos Emerald also causing invincibility, it's kind of redundant and less creative, requiring the Sonic erasal plot to have more in the episode. If the Chaos Emerald in Mammoth Mogul was established to be an immortality Chaos Emerald, that would have explained him being immortal better. I don't remember him showing like a whole bunch of different wide range of powers like Ixis did. I think he was just a psychic. So that would have explained why he didn't have a huge wide range of powers from a Chaos Emerald. And he tried to tear an ancient Robotnik to shreds without knowing he'd be fine. In front of Tails, no less. I'm all for a more anti-hero Sonic, but this just makes me wonder why he doesn't try to kill every villain once he's done with them then. He only keeps Robotnik around to toy with them, I guess. But other villains have no excuse. Metalogic Kid Show, that's why. So this episode wasn't as well written as the others in the arc. We already saw Robotnik dressed like a pharaoh and forcing people to make Egyptian monuments. Plus, the ancient Egyptian times already shown off in Fleetway. He could have gone to some other time and place and the plot would have been more unique. I guess the episode was alright, but there's things that bug me about it, like Sonic's gluttony getting the better of him as a flaw for a change, which is good, but starts to make him lose tons of IQ points and get himself erased from existence temporarily. He would have stayed away from Penelope, not waste our time with this. At least Tails was useful there. Logically, the whole plot shouldn't have happened because Robotnik should have kidnapped Sonic as a baby if he was getting an idea for a plan like this. And he still had his time machine at the end of the episode, so how could Sonic trust him not to do that next time?